In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips for increasing food motivation in your service dog if maybe he's not the most easily motivated by food. Because the thing about training a service dog is that you need something to reinforce him with. And ideally, you need to be able to reinforce him with food because food is an easy reinforcer. We can carry it into public with us and it's very convenient. Whereas something like throwing a tennis ball isn't going to be appropriate in a lot of public settings. And these are the same ways that I increase food motivation in our own service dogs in training, including one we're working with now who, when he first came to us, really wasn't very interested in food. He'd eat his dinner, maybe, but he wouldn't take treats in public, and he definitely wouldn't take food as a reinforcer whenever there were other people around, because there was nothing that he wanted more in the world than saying hi to other people. So when it comes to talking about increasing food motivation in our service dogs, the first thing to understand is that animals are designed to work for their food. Whether they're foragers, scavengers, hunters, all animals are designed to behave, to do something in order to get their food. And you can see this in most puppies. The vast majority of puppies are very easily reinforced by anything edible, right? And then as they grow, some of them become less easily motivated by food and we start to struggle with training. So my first tip is no more free feeding. If you leave food out for your dog to graze at all day long, now's the time to stop that. Set your dog 2 meals per day or more depending on what your vet says. 1 meal in the morning, 1 meal in the evening. Give him about 20 minutes to eat and pick up the leftovers. Because if your dog can eat for free all day long, then that means that he's not used to working to eat. He's not used to doing something to get his food. So that leads me right into my second tip, which is to have your dog start working to eat. So once your dog is good at eating just 2 meals per day and eating everything out of his bowl, then you want to start having him work to eat. And the most common ways to do this are through different types of food dispensing toys. Things like Kong wobblers, which are my favorite, snuffle mats, and just Kongs in general. Anything where your dog has to do a little bit of work, behave a little bit to make the food appear. My third tip is to remember to adjust the value of your reinforcer, so the value of the food you're using, to the environment and the distraction levels in which you're working. If you're working in your living room, there's nothing going on, your dog probably doesn't need to be working for more than just the average dog food or run-of-the-mill treat. But then if you go to, let's say, the mall for public access training, that's when it's time to get out the good stuff. So you want to remember, you want to use the level of treat that corresponds with the amount of distractions and the environment in which you're working. Low distraction, lower value treat. High distraction environment, higher value treat. My fourth tip is to make your food reinforcer an event. Some dogs work great when we mark and then just hand them the treat. Other dogs want it to be a little bit more exciting. Some dogs like to have the food thrown. Some dogs like to have it tossed to them. Some dogs just like their handlers to make a big deal. Like, oh, look at this treat. Isn't this delicious? You know, something like that. So if your dog isn't maybe as food motivated as you'd like, try making the food reinforcer a little more fun. And my last tip is to simply train your dog, teach your dog, to accept food as a reinforcer the same way you teach any other behavior or task. So it becomes, if you eat this treat, then I will throw your ball. If you eat this treat, then I will let you outside. You basically want to set up a training plan to teach your dog to accept food. And if that's something you need some help with, check out our free Facebook group, Train Your Service Dog with Confidence, which I have the link to in the description of this video, for help from our members and from us on how to do that if maybe you need a little bit more help on this topic. If you liked this video or if you found it helpful, make sure to hit the like button below and then to share it with your fellow owner trainers. And then make sure to check out that free Facebook group I mentioned where we can really help you develop better food motivation in your service dog if that's something you're struggling with.